Hi, Deadlock's here again, and today I've got something a little bit special. That is this. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're going, Mr. Deadlock's, that's just a shim. It's nothing new. Well, this one actually is. This is being designed by Coxy from Coxyspicks and made...
That's what you sound like. The M&S advert.
Apparently I'm a Marks and Spencer's advert.
Yes. This isn't any old biscuit. This is an M&S crusted delicious brown biscuit. You sound like that advert.
Okay, I'll sound a little less adverty from now on.
I like it.
I can see it. But yeah, anyway, this is being designed by Coxy from Coxyspicks and made by Southern Specialties. This is a prototype of something that I've been told may be going into production. So I've been thoroughly testing this, and I've tested it on about 80 sets of handcuffs, and I don't like commercial shims, but this one's fantastic. The reason I don't like commercial shims is quite often they're a bit thick and clumsy, difficult to get into the cuff. Then when you do get it in there, if you've got something like a triple pawl, they're not necessarily going to hit all those pawls.
Because it doesn't like to touch the pawls.
Because it doesn't like to touch the pawls.
When the pawls like to be touched.
Yes, they do. And this is Coxy's design shim, and that is just so easy. It's ridiculous. And it's not just that one set of cuffs. I've gone through loads of them. Oh, the double lock isn't on that. Had to check. There we go. It just flies straight through them. No problem. Now, this particular one is looking a little worn. You can see it's not quite as straight anymore. But you've got to remember, I've tested about 80 sets of cuffs with this, and some of them I did multiple times.
Repeatedly.
Yep. I mean, sometimes you get a narrower cuff like these Alaska, and this has a narrower side, so it makes easy. Like literally, I'm struggling to find handcuffs that this doesn't work on. The only problem I've come across is when you get something like these Ewells with a split pawl. You can't get through the split. But
not a lot of paws can get through a split though.
What?
Not a lot of the paws can get through a split. When they split, they're split. They're staying split.
I'm talking about shims though.
I'm talking about paws.
You're obsessed with the paws.
I am. They shouldn't be split.
There's some wisdom from Mrs. D for you.
Yep.
Other problems I quite often come across with shims is they can't shim stuff like Smith & Wesson very well because the gap in there is so tight that you can't get the shim in. Granted, it still feels pretty tight with this shim, but it actually does it. Whereas I don't think this one actually will. Nah. Oop. No. Nope. That's a fail from the other commercial shim.
I bet you know, I know a set of cups that can't work on.
How are they?
Derbies.
But yeah, you can't shim derbies.
Yeah,
so
so the...
clearly not going to work. What else have we got here? I thought they would have trouble with these because the pawl is so deep in there, but I found a trick that I've only ever actually managed to make work with this shim. So you can't back shim them usually. I've never managed to back shim them before until now. Hopefully this goes straight away because it is actually really fiddly to do. If you start pushing the bow in and keep wobbling the shim, I promise you this works. If I can't make it work now, I do actually have a clip of me doing it that I'll put in. Hear that clicking noise? When you start to hear that clicking noise, click it down and there you go. Shimmed. I've never done that with another shim. Well, it is fantastic. I'm genuinely shocked by this. There is a couple of things though. Now, I have been told if you pile those corners off, it will shim even easier. I find that hard to believe, but for the next video I'm going to try that out. Another thing is this thin narrow part of the shim. I found very few cuffs where I've actually needed this. This side does everything except for these high 1970s Lepeggy, probably Viper Tech. I don't have a set to check, but I'm pretty sure they're quite narrow. But I think having the option of a split shim for the likes of this would actually be a nice addition. Not as a replacement for the thin one, but as a different option. I mean, I know I would buy both. I know some people quite like to have little shims that they can hide on the person, so maybe having something that's just that you can stash away somewhere. But for what I do kind of perspective, doing cuffs on the bench and escaping handcuffs, be brilliant for a person who's doing stuff on stage like these. Like, I don't know, it's mint and I can hardly fault it.
I'm not doing M&S advert for it.
You want to do an M&S advert for it?
Yeah.
Okay, speak up so everyone can hear though.
This isn't any old hand-picked, get any old commercial shim. This is a hand-picked, hand-selected, hand-finished pick from Coxy and Southern Specialties. Only available through them, not Marks and Spencer's.
Because Marks and Spencer's has nothing to do with it.
They might one day.
Okay, so I know I've been a little all over the place with this video because that's just what we're like here, we're a bit disorganised, but to sum it up, this is fantastic, and when it comes out I will be getting a bunch of them. Only things is that narrow one could have the option of having that replaced with a split shim. Not as a replacement for this, I would say another product or a shim to buy with it. Probably be cool to have some little cut off ones as well that you can stash on in places, which I think is more what this little design is kind of for. But if you have this profile, you shim anything. It just makes things easy. That's all from us. See you next time. That's all from us. See you next time.
Bye!
There we go.